enjoy replay. I really appreciate you guys being here. My name is Bethany Stewart. I'm the lead health coach for the Lean Vitality Weight Loss and Body Composition Program at My Go-To Doc. In today's webinar, I'm going to outline the Lean Vitality approach to sustainable and healthy weight loss. And we're going to talk about exactly what it is about our approach that makes it both healthy and sustainable. And this method is something that both Dr. Hyder and I have learned both through trial and error in our own lives and our own experience, and by working with clients in Dr. Hyder's practice and who have already gone through the Lean Vitality program. For me personally, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about my story later, but I've lost a significant amount of weight and I've gained a lot of muscle too by using this approach that we teach in the Lean Vitality program. And I've also made a lot of mistakes along the way, and I've learned from those mistakes. And so if you're like me, just to introduce myself, I'm Bethany Stewart. I'm a certified health coach. I'm a personal trainer and the head health coach for the Lean Vitality program at Dr. Hyder's clinic at My Go-To Doc. And so there is, a real struggle to find your path to both losing weight and getting healthy. And some of you here today, you might not be interested actually in losing a lot of weight. You might just be interested in finding a way of eating that helps you improve your health. You might be looking for ways to gain muscle and resilience, things like that. Some of you, you might just have a singular goal of losing weight. No matter why it is that you're here, the Lean Vitality program really is for you. And so if this is true of you, like number one, do you struggle to find a nutrition and exercise approach that is actually health promoting and sustainable? I think a lot of people struggle with that these days. I know I did up until really just a few years ago. And it's really only been recently that I've kind of found my way. And I've made, like I said, I've made a lot of mistakes along the way. It really has been trial and error. And so, if this is true of you, maybe you've tried a lot of different diets, maybe a lot of different meal plans, and then you've never really been totally satisfied. So you kind of like go back to your old way of eating as soon as it's over. That's really common as well. Or maybe you're the kind of person that you've made a lot of starts and stops. Like you join the next big thing, you get an email, you join a challenge, you join a boot camp, you join a weight loss program. But then a couple of weeks in, it loses its novelty or it doesn't fit your lifestyle. And so you stop and you quit and you go back to the way you were before. If this is true of you, I really think today's webinar can help open your eyes as to a method that really can actually work, and that will help you to find your path, not someone else's path, but your path to achieving a healthy and sustainable body composition. And so in today's webinar, here's what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you an approach that improves your overall health and vitality on the one hand, with sustainable weight loss and good body composition ensuing as a natural byproduct of getting healthier. So that's what we've developed in the Lean Vitality program. Dr. Hyder and I are both really excited about this program. And we're really proud of it because we are helping people both raise their overall health and vitality and lose weight, which is what a lot of people need to do in order to get healthy. But the way we approach it, it comes as a natural byproduct of your entire health getting better, your energy levels, your sleep, your movement and exercise, your mindset, your ability to manage stress and emotional eating. All of these things are addressed in the program. And so the weight loss that ensues is a lot more of a natural, sustainable kind of weight loss. And so I'm going to show you how that works. And then hand in hand with that, I'm also going to explain why most weight loss approaches and programs, other ones out there that you'll see, ultimately fail. And then at the end of this webinar, I'm going to show you how you can try out this program for yourself, the Lean Vitality program, what your options are, so that you can find your own path to sustainable health and weight loss as well. So first, I want to just give you guys an idea of what my story is. So when I was growing up, I was super active. I was really into sports. I was kind of pretty much one of those kids that all year round, I was on some kind of sports team, playing some kind of sports, traveling for softball and basketball, things like that. That was my life. So I was super active. I wasn't necessarily like really robust and healthy. I had really bad asthma. I had really bad allergies. I would get sick quite often, but I was so active, and you can get away with a lot when you're young. And so I was fairly healthy. And then something happened once I graduated from high school. I didn't have the sports anymore to kind of keep me paying attention to my health. And so as a result, I kind of slowly put on some weight, slowly accumulated a lot of inflammation. And then into my 20s, I know that's young, but it happened for me. I mean, into my 20s, mid to late 20s, I'd say, my health really declined. One of the biggest things, the biggest struggles that I had was when my husband and I got married. I struggled with infertility almost right away. I didn't realize that this was even going to be a problem for me, but looking back, I think a lot of it was due to just the issues and the inflammation that I kind of accumulated over the years of neglecting my health. I had really bad chronic digestive issues. Again, it's something that you wouldn't think someone in their mid 20s would really struggle with. But I ended up in the hospital several times in the emergency room with just such intense digestive and intestinal pain. And they never knew exactly what was wrong with me. I think the official diagnosis was colitis. Um, but it was to the point where I couldn't hardly eat anything without feeling sick, nauseous, exhausted, having to like lay down for a while after I ate just because it was such a struggle for my body to digest my food. It was horrible. And it was hard to function in my daily life. I had asthma, as I mentioned before, and that just kind of got progressively worse. Whereas a lot of people grow out their asthma as they get older, it kind of got worse for me. It also put me in the hospital a couple of times growing up, but then also in my 20s. And then as a result of that, I had chronic fatigue. It was just the kind of thing where my husband was always amazed at how much I slept. Like I would go to bed at like 9 p.m., wake up at 8 or 9 a.m. the next morning and still be exhausted. Like I felt like no matter how much I slept, I could never get my energy and my mental clarity. I was just constantly in a state of exhaustion and fatigue. And so it got to a point where I realized that something needed to change. The first thing I discovered was a paleo diet. I did a whole 30, which is basically eating paleo for 30 days as an elimination diet. And it was kind of incredible because as soon as I shifted my diet away from all those processed foods, um, away from all the real carb dense foods and towards real food, my health dramatically improved just a couple weeks into that. Um, and then after that, I kind of gravitated into a lower carb diet and then even keto. My health improved dramatically. I think all told, I lost about 30 pounds. Um, but honestly, that's not even the thing I'm most proud of. What I'm most proud of is that I lost probably about 10% or more body fat from my body fat percentage. But on top of that, I was gaining muscle and strength. I started lifting weights. I started going to the gym. Didn't do a lot of cardio at that point, but I really focused on gaining muscle and strength. And so my body composition dramatically improved. And so when I say I lost 30 pounds, I mean that's a significant amount of weight. But really, what I'm most proud of is improving my body composition. And I'm going to explain a couple slides from now what the difference just weight loss and improving your body composition. My digestive issues and my asthma almost completely resolved. I have zero digestive issues anymore. I'm so thankful for that. I rarely have issues with my asthma anymore. I just kind of keep an inhaler with me in case an emergency happens, but I rarely have to use it. Um, but in all this, I mean, I might give the impression that I figured it all out like right away. And that's not true. My health improved a lot right away when I shifted to a paleo style diet and then keto and low carb. But I've had to make adjustments quite often as I've gone through this journey because the way of eating or moving or your lifestyle, it might work for you at some point, but then life happens. You change, your situation changes, your health status changes, and so adjustments have to be made as those obstacles come up to be able to overcome those obstacles and resolve the pain points and the frustrations. And so I started to really get frustrated with one size fits all kind of approaches where everybody is on the same diet, eating the same foods. Um, and so for example, like I started eating keto, but then I started realizing I really feel better with a little bit more carbs in my diet. And I didn't really have a good method for figuring out how to tweak my diet and my approach to being healthy to suit my situation. So I really needed a method that incorporated individuality and nuance so that I wasn't just stuck with this one size fits all approach. And that's really where the Lean Vitality program came from, especially with our nutrition approach. Um, Here we go. And so I'm going to explain to you more about our particular method for achieving sustainable healthy weight loss. Um, the very first thing that we do, and again, keep in mind, Dr. Hyder and I really figured this out through trial and error. We made some mistakes in the beginning of our own weight loss journeys and health improvement journeys. And so it's helped us realize how to adjust this so that other people can get even more success than we've gotten. One of the big things that I've realized is that when you're looking to lose weight, I didn't realize this when I was first starting out. Now I realize that you have to ask the right question. Um, Most people, the vast majority of people, I mean, you're probably thinking too, if you're on this call, if you're in this webinar, you're probably thinking, okay, if I join the Lean Vitality program, how many pounds can I lose in 8 weeks? That's really common. A lot of people want to lose pounds, they want to lose it quickly. And I understand when you're overweight and you're miserable and you don't like how you look, you want to improve the situation as quickly as you can. And you think the problem is that you weigh too much, that that number on the scale is too high. And so you want to resolve that right away by losing as many pounds as you can. Um, but in the Lean Vitality program, we work on mindset and these questions right at the very beginning of the program. So instead of how many pounds can I lose, we encourage you to ask, how can I improve my body composition? Okay, so we have to define the term body composition because a lot of people don't realize what this means. Body composition is simply how much of your body weight is comprised of muscle and other lean tissue like bone and organs and things like that, and how much is body fat. So on the right here is an image of a DEXA scan. A DEXA scan is something that's used to measure body composition. It's not the only way, but what it's doing when you go get a DEXA scan or when you use one of these other methods is you're kind of you're figuring out, okay, I know how much I weigh, but that really doesn't tell you the whole story about your body weight. What we want is not just to weigh less, but to weigh better. We want our body weight to be quality body weight. We want it to be composed primarily of muscle, bone, connective tissue, organs, and so forth, and to have just enough body fat to be healthy, but no more than that. So body composition is directly related to so many things that influence your overall health. So metabolic health, your functionality in daily life, just how well you can achieve the physical tasks that you have, or even the mental tasks. It's directly related to your longevity, how healthy you are as you age. It's directly related to your energy levels, how you feel when you wake up, how you feel throughout the day, whether or not your energy is sustained and even throughout the day. It also is directly related to your risk of chronic disease and so forth. Um, so this is why we focus on body composition, not just losing pounds. I hope that makes sense. And we're going to dive into this a little bit deeper here. I always show these some kind of picture like this to the clients that go through the Lean Vitality program, because it can be hard. I mean, you can hear this about this point about the scale weight not being the most important thing, but when you see a picture, it really starts to make sense. And this is taken from a URL from boardpanda.com. I don't really know what that is, but there are a lot of good pictures on there of different people on social media who have shared side-by-side comparison pictures. And the interesting thing is, in all of these examples, they are similar body weights on the scale in both pictures, but they look completely different, almost like completely different people in some cases. You can tell they are the same person. Um, And some of you might even think, oh, this is photoshopped or something like that. But I've seen this for myself. I mean, as I lost some body weight at first, but really the difference in how I looked was a lot more significant than what you would see reflected in the scale number. So just look at this one. I mean, she says she's about 140 pounds in each picture here. I mean, a lot of that weight you can tell is body fat. No judgment, but that's just the reality. Here on the left or on the right, she's likely started strength training and focusing on her diet and so forth. She's lost some weight for sure, but you can tell she hasn't just shrunk. She's actually improved her body composition. And so when you lose body fat and then gain muscle on top of that, a lot of times your body weight stays about the same because muscle weighs a little bit more than fat. And you're also dropping a lot of water weight that's associated with inflammation and so forth. Um, Same thing with this guy here, about the same weight in each, and you can tell he's taken a lot of that body fat, lost it, and then also put on muscle the same way. Um, so I show these pictures just as an illustration that your scale weight might change a bit. You know, you will likely lose some pounds on the scale, but ultimately that's not what's most important. What's most important is improving your body composition because that's how you're going to look better. That's how you're going to feel better in your day-to-day life, and that's how you're going to perform better in the different activities that you're doing. So, what we do in the Lean Vitality program is we take a muscle centric approach for all of these reasons that I just talked about. So, I want to take just a 3 to 5 minutes or so to talk about why. Why do we have this muscle centric approach? Why do we focus on muscle? A lot of people think when they hear the word muscle, they think, oh, that's not really for me. Like, I'm not a bodybuilder, I'm not a power lifter, I'm not an athlete. I don't need to care about my muscle. Um, but this couldn't be farther from the truth. Muscle is the organ of health and longevity. I love putting it that way. I borrowed this from Dr. Gabrielle Lyon, by the way. She's one of the foremost muscle centric doctors that are talking online about this right now. So you can look her up if you're interested. But muscle is the organ of health for now, and it's also the organ of longevity. So your health into the future as you age. So it's crucial for a lot of things that you wouldn't think muscle as being crucial for. It's crucial for good metabolism, mobility and functionality in everyday life, brain health. This is not fully appreciated in normal lingo, but having healthy, functioning, contracting muscle that you use on a daily basis is one of the best things you can do for your brain health. It's also one of the best things you can do for your immune system function. So, a lot of you might be here because you had a really difficult struggle with COVID or with long COVID or with vaccine injury, something like that. Well, if that's the case, you're probably really concerned about your immune system. Well, building healthy muscle and using it on a regular basis is one of the best things you can do for your immune system health. You also get better outcomes from acute injury and illness. And again, if you had a really prolonged or a really hard bout with COVID or some other kind of injury or illness, you probably have lost significant amounts of muscle. Well, if you have more muscle to begin with, when you get sick, you have a lot more headroom, a lot more room for error, so that you can come out of that with more resilience and get back to your normal life a little bit faster. So for all these reasons, this is why I call muscle your health pension for when you age. So you think about your pension, you're kind of adding to it, building it up from hopefully, ideally, from when you start working in maybe your 20s up until you retire, maybe your 60s or so. So that's 40 years of like building up this pension, this retirement fund, so to speak. Muscle's the same way. No matter how old you are now, it's not too late to start building up this resource. So you don't want to deplete it. You definitely don't want to deplete it. And sad to say, a careless weight loss program where you're just trying to lose as much weight as you can at any cost is one of the worst things you can do for your muscle. I'm always a little bit I always kind of cringe a little bit actually when someone tells me like, "Oh, I lost 20 pounds in the last 3 months," or something like that, and I ask them questions trying to see if they did it in an intelligent way, and it becomes clear that, they just, drank smoothies for every day for the past 3 months, had, like, binge and restrict cycles or something like that. Um, and then I think, like, I congratulate them, like, "Great, I mean, it's great to lose that weight," but in the back of my mind, I'm also thinking, like, "You really just did yourself a disservice because you probably lost a significant amount of muscle, and that's gonna influence your health down the road." I don't wanna burst their bubble, but it's a reality, and it's something that the lean vitality approach takes very seriously. Um, so I've talked about why this is important and what this method is based on. It's based on asking the right question, not just losing as many pounds as you can, but how can we lose body fat and either preserve or build new muscle? So we start with that question. We take a muscle centric approach. So, and I've explained why this is so vital. So, how does that actually influence our method, our system? Um, so I just have a few bullet points here to outline it. But in order to really see what our method is, you would need to sign up for the program. But the way that this influences our method is, first of all, it influences how we eat and it influences how we train or exercise. So instead of just restricting foods so that we lose a bunch of weight, we eat in order to fuel and feed our muscle. So that's the reason why we focus on protein first and foremost in our nutrition approach. We prioritize protein. This has a lot of effects. It preserves our muscle mass, it helps us build new muscle mass, and it also increases our satiety levels. So actually, it's kind of funny when I take clients through this program, one of the biggest complaints that they have is that they can't finish their food. Because when you focus on protein, quality protein, um, and you try to meet that minimum level of protein that we set as a target for people in each meal, it gets to the point where they actually have a hard time finishing their meals because they're so full and satisfied. I mean, I always tell them that's a really good problem to have when you're losing weight, to actually have so much food in front of you that you can hardly finish it. Um, so that's almost becomes a problem to some extent, and we have to start like finding ways around that. But we do this in order to feed our muscle. Secondly, we focus on food quality. So we're not just looking to restrict calories. We address the calorie issue because it is an element of a weight loss program, but we have very few people actually ever needing to get to the point where they have to count calories. Instead, we focus on the quality of the food that you're putting in your mouth. So eating protein dense and nutrient dense foods. Um, it also influences how we exercise. So we incorporate smart strength training that incorporates progressive overload so that we stimulate the growth of new muscle because we don't want to just maintain the muscle we have. That's important, but we also want to build new muscle because muscle is our health pension for when we get older. Um, so again, instead of just kind of sweating our way, doing as much cardio as we can to burn as many calories, we're focusing on our exercise program building us up, building muscle, building strength, building bone density, building good qualities in our body. Um, Another thing that we do in our program that I think is a bit different from other programs is that we gradually improve, and I mean gradually improve our lifestyle habits until they're ingrained in our day-to-day routine. So we gradually improve it. And some people have more bandwidth, more time, more mental space, and motivation to improve a lot of things at once. And if that's you, that's great. Like you'll find a lot of things you can change in the Lean Vitality program, and you can change it as quickly as you want, as long as you're able to stick to it. But for other people, actually the majority of people, I think everybody's busy. Everybody has a life. Everybody has, maybe a job or a family or other things that they're doing. And so the thought of overhauling everything all at once is really overwhelming. And so our method is specifically geared towards that type of person. So in each module that we go through, basically we go through the why, we get educated on the different elements of living a healthy lifestyle. And then we think of simple habits that we can start incorporating into our day-to-day routine to shift us closer to health in each of these areas. And then you focus on those little habits that actually have big snowball effects downstream. Um, and you kind of wait until that starts to become ingrained, then you add more. And so we kind of take it as a step-by-step approach. So you can see how this is very sustainable. It's not a challenge, it's not a boot camp, there's no race to the finish line. We kind of set our intention from the very beginning that this is for life. And we're going to be improving our lifestyle for life, little by little, letting those habits snowball and kind of grow, and become ingrained before we add new ones. So our life, when I say lifestyle habits, I do mean that. The Lean Vitality program, and I'm going to show you in a little bit, a little summary of all the different modules and the things that we cover in each module. But we cover everything. We're not just talking about nutrition. As important as nutrition is, it's not the whole story, and neither is exercise. So we have a sleep module, we have a stress management module. We start the whole thing off talking about mindset. And then we focus on whole body nourishment. One of Dr. Heider's sayings that I really love, because I think it hits the nail on the head, is that overweight is undernourished. If you've read Dr. Heider's weight loss ebook, which is available as a free download, you can read more about his thoughts about that. But it really is true. I think in today's world, the vast majority of people that are overweight because they're undernourished, maybe from a nutritional perspective, maybe from a movement perspective, maybe from a sleep perspective, maybe just from their whole life is just kind of devoid of meaning, and that kind of manifests itself as out of control eating, which leads to becoming overweight. So we really focus on nourishing the whole body and respecting everybody that comes through the program as real people, not just robots that take in calories and burn calories, but real people who have real emotions and real issues and real lives. So that's some of the things of what we do, our methodology. And again, I've hinted at this, but other programs that I've seen just really don't get this. These are some of the mistakes that they make and that you can look for if you're kind of shopping around for a program. A lot of other programs, like I mentioned, they focus on weight loss at any cost, just getting the number on the scale down, regardless of what the cost is. And they might recommend that you purchase a lot of their meal replacement shakes and kind of depend on those to get the number on the scale down. They completely neglect protein. They completely neglect food quality. It's all just about weight loss. They don't think about body composition or muscle or, your health as you age. They don't think about any of these things. There might be some out there that do, I just haven't seen them. Another thing that's really common is just promoting fad diets that aren't sustainable. A lot of keto programs are like this, to be honest. But it's not just a keto problem. It's a lot of just kind of fad diets that people jump on the bandwagon of. But it doesn't really suit their lifestyle. It doesn't really suit their food preferences. It doesn't respect the fact that clients, after they graduate from your program, have to move on and figure out how to make this work in real life. And a lot of programs just don't have a way of kind of, offboarding people into real life once they complete the program. Then thirdly, a lot of these weight loss programs focus more on deprivation and calorie restriction than nourishment. And like I just mentioned, that's not what we do. I mean, we take calories into account, but our fixation is not on restriction and deprivation. Our focus is on nourishing the whole body from the inside out. A lot of other programs also, fourthly, neglect other areas of health. So again, they just fixate on one tiny little issue, which is the number on the scale, and then they neglect all the other areas of health. And so people might lose weight on their programs, but by the end of the program, they're kind of wrung out. They don't feel good. They're exhausted. They're depleted. And so again, they just kind of binge and go back to the way that they were doing before because they feel undernourished. And then fifthly, you hear this all the time, just eat less, move more, eat less, move more. My dad growing up was always trying to lose a little bit of weight. And when we'd ask him, like, okay, well, how are you going to do that? He would always just say, well, just eat a little less, move a little more. So he'd like jog a little bit more every day, or eat one less. A lot of times, ironically, people restrict protein and meat, and they think that if I just eat a little bit less, one less chicken leg or something like that, like I'll lose weight. Again, this is just completely neglects the reality that you have to focus on body composition. You can't just focus on losing weight. This is a long-winded way of saying I really believe that our program is much better. And before I show you a little bit more about the program itself, I want to address a couple of objections that you might be having. Um, so, a lot of people think that in order to lose weight, we have to count calories, we have to deprive ourselves. It has to be kind of miserable in order to really count. First of all, I would encourage you to kind of question yourself and ask why you think you need to be miserable in order for it to be valuable. That's kind of a deep question to think about for a second. But the short and kind of more direct answer here is that for all the reasons we've said before, counting calories and trying to like cardio your way to weight loss, it might work for a while, in the sense of getting your scale weight down, but it's just not sustainable. You're not going to feel good. You're not going to really probably look good by the end of it because you're not looking at muscle. You're just looking at trying to lose weight. A better approach is to approach your nutrition in a way that maximizes your satiety and your satisfaction with your meal so that you naturally eat less. A lot of times you don't even have to count calories. I think in some situations it can be useful for people to count calories to track their food, but that is never where we start with people in the Lean Vitality method. And we never ask people to do it if they're not eager to do it or comfortable with doing it. And we address lots of other things before we ever come to the resort of having to count calories. That's always a last resort. Our approach also, which is a better approach, kind of views cardio in a little bit of a different way. I think the majority of weight loss programs look at cardio as just a calorie burn. But the way we look at cardio is a way to improve your cardiovascular and metabolic health because we're looking at you as a person, not just as a calorie burning machine. So, no, the answer is no. You don't need to count calories and deprive yourself and feel miserable and sweat your way to weight loss. There is a better way. Another objection you might have is all this talk about muscle. Maybe you've got this objection in your mind that you don't want to be bulky. Maybe you're a man, maybe you're a woman. I think it's more common for women to feel this way. They think, oh no, if I focus on muscle, I'm going to be like one of those scary, really super manly looking bodybuilder women that you see pictures of. The quick answer is you are not going to accidentally become a bodybuilder. That's absolutely out of the question. Those bodybuilders have pretty much made it their job to build as much muscle as possible, lose as much body fat as possible. They're a lot of times using a little bit of help to get there. They've made it their mission for years, sometimes decades to get to that point. So you are not going to accidentally look like that. You're not just going to wake up one morning and look like that in the mirror and be like, oh no, what have I done? That's just not going to happen. And then just to address that concern though, go back to those pictures that I showed you of people who improve their body composition. You're going to like how you look if you focus on preserving muscle and losing fat. So if an aesthetic reason is what you're going for with your weight loss goals, you're going to really like how you look. If you build a little bit of muscle and you lose a little bit of fat, that's going to give you more of the toned look that people like. Both men and women usually like that. You're not going to be scary and bulky looking. And just keep in mind, muscle is crucial for other health goals too, not just how you look. It's crucial for having energy and strength for daily activities, for maximizing your lifespan and health span, for improving your health markers like your blood pressure, your blood sugar, your cholesterol. So it's about a lot more than just how you look. So I hope that I've answered that objection. First of all, you don't need to worry about becoming bulky accidentally. Second of all, building muscle is just going to improve how you look and how you feel and your overall health. Okay, so I've included a QR code here in case you wanted to go to our landing page and have a look for yourself. I hope I've convinced you by this point to actually give our landing page a look. This is the Lean Vitality Program for Functional Body Transformations. And I am going to go there myself and just kind of give you a little tour of what you'll see when you go there. Um, so this is what you'll see if you go to mygotodoc.com/weight dash lost, or if you scan that QR code here on the screen, you'll get there as well. I'll give you just a couple of seconds to scan that if you guys are following along online. Okay, so we're all here. This is what you're going to see. You're going to get a lot more information about what the program entails. You'll get the opportunity to download Dr. Hyder's free ebook on weight loss. Um, and so you'll see here, Lean Vitality is a functional weight management system. We described it this because we didn't want to just call it a weight loss program for all the reasons I've just been through. We're a functional weight management system. And so our goal is to get people to a sustainable body composition and body weight that will last for the long term and improve their overall health. It's been designed from the ground up to be the most sustainable and comprehensive weight management program ever conceived. So, our program is about so much more than just weight loss. We directly address metabolic disorders and glucose resistance, insulin resistance. Will help you build lean muscle and eliminate intramuscular and visceral fat. These are common problems faced by many long haul COVID sufferers and those with vaccine injuries. So if that describes you, um, even if you lost weight during your bout with COVID, your body composition almost certainly worsened during your bout with COVID. So this program can help even people who are not looking to lose weight, but they're looking to, be more functional in their daily life, or to get their energy back, or to improve a metabolic disorder. Um, so I'm going to let you know just some of what's included. We talked about mindset and nutrition. We also offer blood work and access to Dr. Hyder's experienced med team. And so if I scroll down here to the different options that you have, we have three options for you if you're interested in joining the program. I'm going to address the ones on the right first, because these are the ones that we really most highly recommend if you can afford it. So these two programs here are both guided health coaching group coaching programs. So it's Lean Vitality Basic and Lean Vitality Complete. Both of these packages allow you to go through the Lean Vitality program along with a group of people. It's always a small group, about 5 to 10 people or so at a time. And I am personally guiding you through 1 week at a time. We have weekly coaching calls that you can either attend live or watch a recording of if you can't attend live. And you're going through step by step, and we have different themes for each week depending on what module of the course you're working on. And so this is really the best because you're going through it with a group of people. You have that accountability and support. We're having weekly coaching calls to kind of keep you on track. And you get access to me as a health coach to kind of help you figure out what nutrition approach you should take, how to start strength training, whatever it is your concerns might be. But then if you get the complete package here, that is where you not only get the group coaching program and access to me, but you also get the possibility of getting comprehensive blood work done and analyzed, continuous glucose monitoring done and analyzed, and then if necessary, for example, if something like insulin resistance is uncovered, prescriptions might be given to you if that seems like it would help you along your journey. So this complete program is where you get access to Dr. Hyder's medical team. The extra cost here just covers access to the med team, ordering of the blood work, and then interpretation of your results. So it doesn't include the cost of the blood work itself. You're going to have to talk to your insurance provider and look into your insurance plan to see if some or all of your blood work would be covered by insurance, or if you'll have to pay for that out of your pocket. But you get access to Dr. Hyder's med team, which is valuable because they help you order the tests. They help you interpret the tests. They can prescribe follow-up blood work if that's necessary. They can prescribe a continuous glucose monitor and help you interpret that. And they can offer prescriptions if that becomes necessary down the road. So those are the Lean Vitality Basic and the Lean Vitality Complete programs. I just want to mention, you can see this banner up here, that we have a new cohort starting next Monday, July 3rd. There's only about 10 slots available at a time, and people have already started to sign up. So if you do want to join that cohort, we have one starting on Monday. And so I do encourage you to sign up if this is something that you're interested in doing. However, if you're just kind of on the fence about it, if you're more of like a really self-motivated kind of person, and you don't feel like you benefit from being in a group or having access to a health coach or a med team, or if finances are just really tight for you right now, which I can completely understand, we have an option for you too, and that's Lean Vitality Learn. So typically this is $19 a month, but we're running a promo right now where you can get $1 for your first month with the Learn One code. And then after that, it would be $19 if you choose to continue with your subscription. What this does is it gives you access to all of to the entire program, which is available either as a course that you can kind of go through on your own time, or as an audio, almost like a podcast, kind of an audio stream, if you prefer to kind of learn on the go. You do not get access to a health coach. You do not get support and accountability. You don't get blood work with this option, but you do get all of the education and some guidance with implementing these things that are built into the course. So that's Lean Vitality Learn. I want to also kind of quickly give you a tour. There we go. Quickly give you a tour of what's inside the program. So this is what you get access to, where the Lean Vitality content is housed. We use a platform called Experienceify. And no matter what program you get, whether it's the $19 a month one or whether it's the group coaching one, you get access to all this material here. We offer a module on understanding blood work and continuous glucose monitoring for insulin resistant. There's a lot of information here directly from Dr. Laura, the med team lead on Dr. Hyder's medical team. Then we kind of move into mindset. This is some of the stuff we covered today, but goes into a lot more detail. Mindset and foundational concepts. We kind of we lay the groundwork first before we jump in. And again, if you join one of the group coaching options, we walk through this with you and help you answer these questions to set really meaningful goals. Then we move into nutrition. So we have 2 modules that are explicitly focused on nutrition. We explain foundational principles of nutrition that apply to you no matter what kind of diet you're on or what way of eating you prefer. And we explain why this is so. We explain practical reasons, practical ways to get more protein, for example. So that's one module. And then there's another module in nutrition that goes a little deeper into things like calories, whether or not to eat carbs or fats, how to reduce inflammation from your diet, how to make sure that you have a good blood sugar response to your foods, and so forth. We also address things like meal timing and intermittent fasting. We include some practical things like meal templates. You also have the opportunity to get a personalized meal plan if you prefer that too. Then we kind of move in, and remember, I said that our program focuses on holistic health, not just about nutrition, not just about eating and exercising, but your whole health. And so sleep and circadian rhythm is addressed in this module. Then we move on to exercise and movement. And again, we see kind of the benefits of strength training. There's a basic beginner strength training program included in here once you go through that module. We talk about how to do cardio for health, not just for burning calories. We talk about mobility. We talk about making your everyday life more movement rich. And then we specifically have guidance for people who are dealing with long COVID about how to adjust these exercise recommendations to make sure that they're not overdoing it. Then we can go even a little bit deeper, because remember, we're trying to nourish the whole person. And so we really have to address things like stress management and things like social connections. Most people don't think of these things as being related to a health journey, but they really are intrinsically related to the overall health of your whole life. So we have a whole module just devoted to that. Then our last module is kind of geared, focused on helping people graduate the program and kind of transition into their normal life so that they can continue to make these things work for them. We talk about how to stick to your goals, your nutrition goals in social situations. We talk about emotional eating. We talk about how to maintain healthy weight and body composition for the rest of your life. And then we have a way of kind of like checking in with yourself to see the progress that you've made over the past 8 weeks. So again, if you join a group coaching program, we'd be going through these modules over the course of 8 weeks. So if you join the one on Monday, Monday would start week one, and then we would go through one module at a time until we get through the entire course in 8 weeks from now. So let me go back to the slideshow here. So again, I just want to quickly summarize here. This program is for you if you've tried everything already and nothing's really worked for very long. It's also for you if you want freedom to live your own life and make your own nutrition decisions that work for you instead of just getting kind of a list of good and bad foods that you have to abide by at all times. You don't have to do that in our program. We give you guidance about how to build your own healthy diet that works for you and respects your food preferences and your unique situation. It's also for you if you've lost weight in the past but gained it back over and over and over again and you kind of fluctuate on a regular basis. This program will be one that will help you figure out how to make it sustainable so that you can be at a healthy body weight all the time. So, I mean, but there are people, I really believe that the majority of people who have body composition goals, our program can help you. But there are some people that maybe this program isn't suitable for. So this program might not be for you if you're not really ready to alter either your mindset or your lifestyle in any way. If you would rather just like pop a pill and that's all you want to do to lose weight, this is not the program for you because our program, we respect the fact that you need to gradually alter your lifestyle and gradually implement habits. But we do expect you to make some changes that feel doable for you. So if you're not willing to do that at all, then I wouldn't waste your time. I would, look for other avenues or kind of ask yourself some questions about why you're not ready or willing to alter your mindset or lifestyle. But it's probably not for you if you're not willing to do at least a little bit of the work. It's also not for you if you're already satisfied with your current state of health and your body composition. If that's the case, I don't really know why you're still here watching. But if you are, I mean, and you're already satisfied, you already kind of have a way of eating that works for you, you already have, good body composition and pretty good health, and you aren't really interested in changing anything, this program probably isn't for you. But if that's the case, you're probably not still here watching. So if you are still here watching, there's a pretty good chance that this is going to help you if you're willing to put in the work. So I'm closing now here. I just want to offer a quick reminder that the new coaching cohort begins Monday, July 3rd. But keep in mind that if July 3rd, going through the summer isn't really the best timing for you, we have new cohorts beginning the first Monday of every single month. So you'll be getting emails about this if you're signed up for our email updates around the first Monday of every month. Just keep that in mind. So if you're kind of planning that you really want to join this program, but now isn't the best time for you, kind of put it on the back burner. That's fine. Just know that we have different cohorts beginning every month. And then if you are interested in signing up, you can sign up for either the group coaching option or the self-paced program at mygotodoc.com/weight-loss. And you can get more information too about what the program entails, the course outline, different FAQs. You can download Dr. Hyder's weight loss book. You can get a lot of more information there. If you have any questions that I haven't addressed in this presentation, please feel free to email me, Bethany@mygotodoc.com. I will do my best to get back with you and help you with any questions you may have. So thank you guys very much. I really appreciate all of your your time. If you've stuck with me this whole time, I really appreciate that. I know it's been about 50 minutes or so. I respect and appreciate your time, and I really hope to be able to see you guys in a future cohort, maybe even the Monday one. So I appreciate you guys. Let me know if you have any questions. Check out our landing page to see if this is right for you. And I hope to see you then. Thanks, guys.